swagger, I'm moving McJagger. We hop in the bed and she grabbing my dagger. My whipping got faster, my bitches got badder. He said he a packer, that boy was a capper. He ran up and died. I get on the beat and I slide. New coupe, no keys, glide. About to action, let's go outside. Hold up, walk in. These bitches salivate. Gave me that brain and she helping me graduate. I'm getting pussy, you go home and masturbate. Keep talking shit, they your homeboy gon' pass away. Light him up like a witch in a crucible. Roll up, throw the roach in his grave in the funeral. Show no emotion, just like a computer do. His homies crying, too bad they knew to do. Talk it, I knock him out. That shit hurt, better walk it out. If you want smoke, you can pop it out. Pussy ass nigga, cut a cops. Yo, said that he bad it, he lying. Cocked it, then he started crying. King of the jungle, no lying. Got a max, they see the man
dying. This is our point now. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
He's dead.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
I may have just two-tapped him with Warp Weapon well. Oh yeah, thank you for wasting that.
Yeah, for real. Forget bubbling the well. Or Novaing the well. You ready, Gimme?
He's dead, I killed him.
That was fucking great.
I three-tapped him again with Warp.
Well, I was shooting him with the last wire as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, I love last... Dude, honestly, my mind has been open with Last Word and Lunafactions. It makes it so good. Alright. Let's cut right to the chase here. Firstly, I know you're going to ask about that demonic laugh at the end of the intro. Listen, sometimes using Last Word can lead you down a dark path on mouse and keyboard, so no, I won't justify it. That was a genuine laugh that scared the hell out of me, but, you know, sometimes you just have to put that out there. Also, this video has turned into a nightmare project that has had to be revised several times. This has gone out of control. So, please, do me a favor, leave a like, leave a comment, and if you like the content, maybe consider clicking that bell and subscribing to the channel for more Destiny content heading into Witch Queen. It really helps me out, and especially helps justify this ongoing psychosis, obsession, career that I want to do with Destiny 2. So, please consider doing it. Alright, so I'm going to lay all my cards out on the table right away here. This video has taken many forms over the process of its creation. At first, I had the very, I would think, standard take about Last Word. And that was Last Word was broken on controller. And then I went and I played with Last Word on mouse and keyboard. I played a lot with it. I played more and more and more. And then things started to change. I got more to the point, to kind of like the midpoint of this video process, where I was more like, okay, Last Word is still definitely broken on controller, but, you know, you can learn how to use it on mouse and keyboard, and you can get, you know, closer to parity between the two inputs. But regardless, whatever specific tuning is on the controller side of things outweighs whatever you could potentially do on mouse and keyboard, and it makes the weapon feel very lopsided and thus an outlier on that input method. And then I stopped, and I asked myself a simple question. What specifically on controller makes Last Word better? Now I know the first thing people are going to say is aim assist. It's going to be the controller reticle friction and the aim assist difference between the two inputs. Now obviously the reticle friction is going to be present on controller. There's no aim assist like that for PC. But obviously there is bolt magnetism on both inputs. And for a long time the perception with Last Word has been that it does not have the same hitbox. It doesn't hit the same headshots that controller hits. There's ghost bullets. So I went and I tested it. This is pulled straight off of my Twitter. If you saw this tweet, thank you. But this is the testing of the Last Word's hitboxes on mouse and keyboard and controller. And as you can see, due to how hipfire grip works right now, Last Word has the same amount of BS headshot potential on both inputs. You can aim at pretty much the middle of the chest, depending on how far away you are, and you will get magnetized headshots on both platforms. Now, the really confusing part for me, and this is where we're going to get into the weeds for a second, this is not how Last Word worked, not even like 6-7 months ago. If we go back to May of 2021, and we reference the hipfire grip buff that came in Season of the Splicer, the Last Word did not have these hitboxes. I'm going to show what Lucky 10p did for testing right after the update. Hey, sorry to interrupt myself, editor Lionheart's here. I'm actually not going to show Lucky's video here just because I feel kind of weird about just ripping and clipping and shipping his own content. I'm going to link to it in the description down below. I'll also link to the Twitter video that I made that shows that last word testing in its entirety. Go check those out. Reference those. Good videos. Shout out to Lucky, I guess. And I recreated those tests. That's what you just saw. And from Lucky's testing, he did not get those chest headshots on mouse and keyboard. And since Season of the Rivals, there have been no other changes to last word or hipfire grip. But here we are, and these shots are now starting to hit. That's the confusing part. I can't find the change that Bungie did for this to now work. So I don't know what kind of phantom patch has happened in the last 6 months, but last word now has the same or similar hitboxes on both inputs. So what the hell does this all mean now? Well, it means we can actually isolate the clear differences between controller and mouse and keyboard last word. Because now, with the hitboxes being the same, there is only one functional difference, and that's the last word's insane reticle friction that controllers get. And that's undoubtedly a massive advantage, don't get me wrong. And to understand why, we need to understand specifically how hipfire grip works. Hipfire grip works by basically having a close enough mechanic. The more that your reticle is over the target, and the more that that reticle contains the crit area of that target, it doesn't matter if you're still functionally aiming at the chest, you will be awarded the crit as long as you're within the aim assist cone threshold. The easiest way to understand this is think of your reticle with a hipfire grip weapon as not necessarily being the center of the reticle is where your shots are going to go, but rather the whole reticle is the shot. You are filling up that area with as much of the hitbox of your target as possible to be awarded an aim assisted crit. This is why dead-on chest shot last words at distance award headshots. There's almost like this weird interplay with last word, where you need to aim lower depending on how far away from your target you are. Editor's note once again, I end up explaining this kind of poorly, so this is my revision. Basically, with the way the hipfire grip works, you just want to cover as much of the target as you can, and then the game will sort of do the rest for you. And what that means is when you're further away, you really only need to aim at the chest, because you're covering up enough of the hitbox that as long as you're within the aim assist cone fall off, you get the crit. But as you get closer, you have to aim closer to the true crit spot because you're going to be covering less of the total hitbox with your crosshair because you're just closer. Long story short, players are further away, they take up more space in your crosshair, which means you don't have to be as close to the head to be awarded the headshot. Well, severe reticle friction really helps you with being close enough, especially when it comes to tracking. The big downside to last word and the way that hipfire grip works is that if you aim at head level and you have a target that's strafing back and forth, it's very hard on mouse and keyboard to be close enough. You don't have as much forgiveness as if you were just shooting at the chest. You're aiming at a smaller target, which means there's less of that target to fill up your reticle and less of that to be aim assisted into a headshot. This is why last word can feel so inconsistent on mouse and keyboard, because if you're used to aiming at head level and trying to strafe duel your opponents, you're going to have a lot of trouble because you need to have very good tracking. Last word is an inverse hand cannon in that it requires more tracking like an auto rifle than pinpoint flick shot aim like with a normal hand cannon. The reticle friction that controllers benefit from makes that easier, and that is the chief difference. If you're going to track ahead at distance, then last word is undoubtedly better on controller. But if you can learn how to play a little bit back, play your angles, and actually learn the chest shot more with last word, suddenly there's a lot more parity on mouse and keyboard than people will give it credit. And that's why my position on last word has changed over time. I think simply saying that last word is an outlier because of its controller efficacy really downplays the fact that the last word is very good regardless. And what makes it so good is that its average time to kill is very fast and also easy to hit. If you want to kill someone in 0.8 seconds with last word, you only need 2 crits and 2 body. If you get any kind of damage boost with last word, you can kill in 2 crit 1 body. And if you get those really free headshots from the chest, you can delete people in 0.53 seconds with 3 crits. In the right hands, Last Word is practically unmatched in close range versatility and damage output, as the output of a hand cannon at the speed of an SMG, and that's really, really deadly. And just don't just take this from me. I consulted with one of the best Last Word players in the world, Myron, over Twitter, and he agrees that Last Word is an outlier because of that average time to kill. Personally, I would say that on the whole, Last Word's time to kill in general is a problem. I do think the 0.53 time to kill is actually too fast. Now granted, I actually do think that a lot of players struggle to achieve that time to kill, but you can do certain things to make it more achievable, and when you hit it, it is unparalleled. It's the fastest time to kill in the game. So now, we've laid it all out, we understand how Last Word works, we know the differences between the two input methods and my thoughts on it, so what do we do about Last Word as it exists right now? Well, just like with my Lay Monarch video, I'm going to give us two paths to go down for Last Word changes. I think the Last Word can go one of two ways. Personally, I think a 3 crit time to kill at 0.53 seconds is too fast. I would say the easiest thing that could be done is to make the hipfire damage values what the current aim down sights damage values are. So we would be shifting Last Word's damage output from the hip from 6838 to 5238. And what this would result in is, unless you run 8 resilience and up, Last Word would kill in 3 crits, 1 body at 0.8 seconds. This would then shift your average time to kill, or your mixed time to kill, at 2 crits and 3 body a little bit faster than 1 second. This change sounds harsh on the surface, but I think it really does address the two biggest problems with Last Word. And that's that the top end of Last Word, the 0.53 seconds, is too fast. And then also the bottom end, or the average time to kill, is also too fast. This will make it so that you have to actually put some practice in and learn how to hit consistent 3 crits, 1 body, or 4 crits to get a still very competitive and fast time to kill, but you don't essentially get a free, better than most popular weapons time to kill for no real investment. Now, I do admit that that's a pretty harsh route to go down. It's just my personal opinion that I think it's the best, but an alternative, a middle ground if you will. Something that I had not considered until I spoke with Myron about it is simply just reducing the body shot damage of Last Word so that you don't get a 2 crit, 2 body average time to kill. That's fair if you want to keep the 3 crits because you think that that is the desirable aspect of Last Word, then I can respect that. And making it a 2 crit, 3 body average time to kill does make you have to prioritize learning how to hit your 3 crits more. It adds a higher skill ceiling to the weapon, I do acknowledge that. I just think the 3 crit time to kill is too fast. With all of that being said, some tips for my mouse and keyboard brethren who may want to try Last Word after watching this video. 1. Always run double hand cannon targeting. Don't leave home without it. It is the most important thing you can have on your loadout. Nothing else matters. God is dead, the world is burning, but make sure you have double hand cannon targeting. 2. Try some different loadouts. Yes, Lucky Pants is the first thing that your brain should go to for Last Word, and it is incredible, but there are other exotics that are very good with the Last Word. The first thing I will shout out, Lunafaction boots with Empowering Rift. That's what you've been seeing the majority of this entire video. Lunafactions make Last Word a menace, 2 crit, 1 body, 0.53 second time to kill at like 45 meters. Need I say more? Go try it. It's very fun. You will annoy people. A precautionary tale, please. I thought this would work. If you're a Titan player, do not use line rampants with the Last Word. It actively works against the accuracy benefits you get from hipfire grip. Because hipfire grip is all about getting your reticle close enough, the line rampants makes your reticle smaller, tighter. That means you have to be way more precise at range with Last Word, even though you're in the air. Fun fact, this is exactly why Lion Rampants makes DMT a goddamn laser beam. Because the DMT does not rely on hipfire grip for its accuracy, it just has built-in hipfire accuracy, the Lion Rampants directly makes DMT better in the air. But it actively ruins the Last Word. Fun fact. Overall, the Last Word is and always will be a absolute mess of spaghetti western and spaghetti code, and at varying points it's either going to be broken, useless, or confusing. That's just the nature of the weapon going all the way back to Destiny 1. But no matter what, I will try and make it work because Everyone loves to be a space cowboy, and that's an undeniable fact. If you liked this video, if you made it all the way through, please leave a like, leave a comment, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. We're ramping up for Witch Queen. The contest's been going great. I'm very thankful for all the support, guys. I love you all. Big shout outs to Goomy and all of my boys in the Sentient Discord server. They help me out in the private matches all the time to test all this stuff out. They support me in my content. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And most of all, thank you for watching. Just your views are enough for me. And remember, guys, be rootin', be shootin', and by God, be tootin'. But most of all, be kind. And I'll see you guys in the next video.